Hello, this is Christian Slade, and I'm here doing one of my favorite things, which is painting and illustrating pictures. So let's jump on in and you can see what I'm working on. Got two paintings I'm working on today right now. Some interesting picture book stuff. So I'm going to set this camera up so you can see. I'm going to focus in on these two otters. Love painting animals, one of my favorite things. So hopefully you get a good look at what I'm doing here. I've already blocked them in. Here's my digital rough underneath. I'm going to scoot this aside so you can see the comparison. So this is my digital rough of what the first idea was, and then I went ahead and tightened them up a little bit better, gave them a little bit more correct anatomy. And I'm going to started the original drawing down on this is with pencil, and then I started doing the watercolor, which is my favorite mediums, one of them, and just starting to layer it up and tighten it up. I'm working on 300-pound cold press illustration paper made by Arches or Arche, and here we go. So I got palette is usually not, I don't usually have this many ink washes on here. So I have them right now because I was building up some of the sky in washes and in different tones. But I'm going to focus on these otters for right now. So you get a nice little glimpse of that. Just going to hold this steady. Okay. Let's do it. This is a raw sienna with a little bit of burnt sienna. Just gonna lay in a little bit of just a base color for the otter. Just okay, just do. You don't want to mess with watercolor that much. I like to lay it on and let it sit there, soak into the paper. Watercolor, for those of you that have worked in it, know it has a mind of its own. It likes to kind of do its own thing, which I try to anticipate. And then there you go. So sometimes if it's too much water, I dry the brush tip off. I always have in my hand a paper towel, so I could do some, once it like slightly dries, I could come back in and do a little bit of blotting, just lifting it out. So that allows it to just kind of have a nice base. I could come back in after that dries a little bit and settles, come back in on it, add some more layers. I'm going to go ahead and add the base wash to this one, just sort of a base color of the fur. So I'm going to make this one down here, keep that a little redder, and keep this one a little bit more yellow on the top. That way, even though they look similar, I think about the differences between them and try to, push that. That way, it's not just two identical otters, but I give one its own by having a little different color, slightly tinge. Each one has its own little personality. So, and again, come back in, kind of do a little blot technique. This is sort of one of my techniques for watercolor where I can control it more. So you do a light wash, be patient, lift it, let it dry, maybe lift up half of it, and then wait, and then come back in, do another wash, and so on and so on. That's how my process goes. And it dries pretty fast, especially when you use the blot technique with the paper towel. That was one of the lessons I had in college. A teacher was like, you lay down the wash, you just blot it up. Lay it down, blot it up. And you do that over and over again. You get this like interesting layered, textured effect. Kind of know where you could kind of push the brush a little bit more, create that texture. Painting is a lot of textures. You think about the water that they're on is going to be a certain texture. You're going to handle that differently. Kind of like I did with this painting. I got more of a water texture going. Whereas this is more, the fur of the otter is going to have a different texture than the water, and then versus the rock. It's going to have that hard shine to it a bit. So texture is definitely a big thing to think about when you do these things. So otters, otters, otters. One of my favorite Christmas specials is Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. And so for my shadows, which are going to be cool in color, I'm going to mix a little purple with a little bit of that like blue. Let's mix that up. Just going to block in a nice shadow. Do a blotch out a bit. Blot it out a bit. It's all about the character with these types of paintings for me. It's you want to get the lighting right and the atmosphere. I get all that, and that's important to make sure the painting's working as a whole, the composition. But when it comes to what I do, which is picture book illustration primarily, it's my focus on my type of artwork is character driven, and so I really like to zoom in my attention to the characters and really try to give them that personality and just try to see how far I could take it. So, well, there we go. So, hope you've enjoyed this. A little bit of what I'm working on today, painting some otters. And thanks for visiting me. If you're interested in seeing more of these, feel free to write in. My website is christianslade.com, and you can contact me through there. Thanks a lot. Have a great day and stay inspired.